Right, so welcome back to another video on this channel. Welcome back to another episode of my Premier League Game Week Predictions series. This is now Game Week 28, so we're closing in now on the business end of this Premier League season well and truly. And last weekend I got myself 10 points, which I'll take. I think that's relatively good, and hopefully we can get similar, if not more than that, this time round. But before I get into this video, as per usual, I would like to quickly ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you are new, because we are closing in now on 1,500 subscribers on this channel. So if you were to hit that subscribe button right now, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would make my day, so it is very much a win-win situation. And without further ado, let's get into these Premier League Game Week predictions. Starting off now with the game taking place at St James's Park on the Friday night football. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Now, Newcastle haven't won a Premier League game in their last 4 games. Allan Saint-Maximin still out with an injury, Callum Wilson the same, Miguel Almiron the same, which obviously is going to massively dent Newcastle's attacking threat in this one and going forward. Aston Villa themselves have been really inconsistent. For as good as they started off the season, I think they were top after like 3 or 4 games or something mad like that. They have been really inconsistent since the turn of the new year, and Jack Grealish is still injured for them, which is obviously going to make matters worse and make things harder for them. But in this one, I'm not going to lie, I'm really not a big fan of this Newcastle team under Steve Bruce. I think he's way too negative in the way he sets up. They're so negative, and for that reason, I think I'm going to have to go for Aston Villa in this one, and I've gone for Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 1. I want the Aston Villa win because I don't think they'll have enough firepower without Jack Grealish's creativity in midfield to be able to break this Newcastle team down enough times, and that is why I'm going to go for a marginal 1-0 win at St James's Park. On to the next game, the Saturday lunchtime kickoff at Elland Road between Leeds and Chelsea. Now, Thomas Tuchel still unbeaten in his first 11 games in all competitions as Chelsea manager. We have a fully fit squad for this one as well. We could see Thiago Silva coming back into the team, even though he probably doesn't deserve it, on the basis that Andreas Christensen has been so good for us in recent weeks. The Danish Maldini, as we call him. But yeah, in terms of Leeds' overall form at this moment in time, they come into this game losing 4 of the last 5 Premier League games, which isn't the best, but on the bright side for them, they are welcoming back a few players defensively, like the likes of Robin Koch. Diego Llorente came back a few weeks ago. Calvin Phillips, I think, is back to full fitness now, which is massive for them. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm slightly worried about this one from a Chelsea fan's perspective, like usual, because if you are a fan of this channel and have been for some time, you'll know I'm a bit of a pessimist, especially in recent weeks, which, doesn't make sense considering the fact I haven't really had much of a reason to. But in the end, I'm going to go for a Chelsea win in this one. I'm going to go for Leeds 1, Chelsea 3, simply because of the fact we all know how Leeds are going to play. They're going to go gung-ho from minute 0 to minute 90, and I think Thomas Tuchel will have the tactical edge to work out Leeds. Now to the next game taking place at Selhurst Park at 3 o'clock on Saturday, Crystal Palace versus West Brom. Now, first and foremost, Crystal Palace finally have Wilfried Zaha back to full fitness, and I know I haven't shut up about his injury for, God knows how long on this channel, but to be fair, they've actually done okay without him, Crystal Palace. They've defended really well, picked up a few points when perhaps they probably shouldn't have. In terms of West Brom, I mean, they've only actually lost 1 of the last 5 Premier League games, which is a little bit staggering, and the main reason why they're probably down at the bottom at this moment in time is because they're actually doing okay under Sam Allardyce in recent weeks. It's just they're really struggling to turn their draws into wins for them. And Jeff, for this one, it's going to be a really tight game in my personal opinion, but I'm going to go for a Crystal Palace win simply because of the fact that Wilfried Zaha is of course back from injury and is massive for them. I'm going to go for Crystal Palace 2, West Brom 1, and yeah, simply because of the fact that Zaha is back into this game. Otherwise, I probably would have gone for a draw, but yeah, there we go. 2-1 Palace I'm going for. Next game now, Saturday 5:30 kickoff, and that is taking place at Goodison Park. Everton versus Burnley. Now, despite defeat against Chelsea and on Monday night, they're grinding out scruffy wins at this moment in time, Everton, and to be honest, they look quite dull going forward without the impact of James Rodriguez in their team, so it'll be very interesting to see if he actually does feature in this one. Burnley themselves lost only 1 of the last 6 Premier League games, even though that does include 5 draws, and they're just doing enough to survive at this moment in time. I've said this for weeks upon end now on this series. They're picking up enough points on a consistent basis to drag themselves away from any real threat from the relegation places. And yet, to be honest, in this one, I'm going to assume that James Rodriguez does not play, and for that reason, I can't really see Everton nicking a win here, and that is why I'm going to go for Everton 1, Burnley 1. I think the fact that James Rodriguez probably won't play in this one is going to be a massive factor in Burnley getting at least a point from Goodison Park in this one. Now to the next game taking place at Craven Cottage, Fulham versus the leaders Manchester City. Now, Fulham, well and truly on form at this moment in time. They're on the back of a really impressive away win at Anfield last weekend. They've only actually lost 1 of the last 7 Premier League games, so Newcastle must be really looking over their shoulders and just absolutely shitting themselves at this moment in time at the prospect of Fulham really getting some form together. They're a really good footballing team, as you know. Despite the fact I'm a Chelsea fan, I really do like this Fulham team. Not much more we can say about Manchester City. They're just going to win the league. They just are. They lost their unbeaten run last weekend against Manchester United at the Etihad Stadium, but recovered that in style with a 5-2 victory in midweek over Southampton. A resounding display from them. And City as well have a fully fit squad for this one. I really do believe in Fulham, but in this one it's going to be really hard for them, and for that reason I have gone with Fulham 1, Manchester City 2, because yeah, as I said, as good as Fulham have been and are, in general, I think that this City team is too much of a task, and I think that City will maintain 3 points in this game. Now to the next game taking place at St Mary's Stadium, Southampton versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, Southampton got their first win last weekend against Sheffield United for the first time since the 4th of January when they bet Liverpool to go top of the table, so it just shows how mental this season has been. They have a few guys back, Southampton, like Kyle Walker-Peters, Ibrahima Diallo, etc. Still not Danny Ings though, he's still missing with an injury, which is of course massive for them. Brighton, on the other hand, actually not won in the last 5 Premier League games now, on the back of those double wins over Spurs and Liverpool in I think January I want to say, and to be fair to them, they are missing both wing backs and have done for quite some time in Tarek Lamptey on the right and Solly March on the opposite side on the left. To be honest, I can't really separate these two sides whatsoever, and for that reason I'm going to go and sit on the fence with a draw. I'm going to go with Southampton 1, Brighton 1, and yeah, I just can't see either team being able to break each other down for 3 points. Now to the next game taking place at the King Power Stadium, Leicester City versus Sheffield United. Now Leicester have only lost 1 of their last 7 Premier League games. They are missing a lot of players through injury now as well. James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, James Justin who's gone to the end of the season, Dennis Pratt and Cengiz Under as well, who are great squad players and add a lot of depth to this Leicester team with the injuries they do have. Sheffield United, on the hand, in my personal opinion, are just gone. They're just here in my opinion to pick up points where they can off teams whenever they can. They are missing a few key players themselves though, Sheffield United, and that is why I will cut them a lot of slack, because Jack O'Connell, John Egan, now Sander Berge as well, who have been missing for quite some time now, so a lot of key players gone for Sheffield United. But to be honest, I think that Leicester have too much quality. I think they will manage to squeeze into that top 4 place come the end of the season, and for that reason I'm going to go for Leicester 2, Sheffield United 0, and yeah, I just can't see anything other than a Leicester comfortable win in this one. Now into the next game, undoubtedly the game of the weekend, the North London derby, Arsenal versus Tottenham at the Emirates Stadium. Now arguably the worst time for Arsenal to play Tottenham at this moment in time. Spurs of course on the back of 3 consecutive wins, actually attacking teams now, which is just mental to say for a Jose Mourinho team, but in those 3 games they've scored 9 goals and only conceded 1, so Spurs really looking like a different animal going forward right now. Arsenal on the other hand have really nothing to play for absolutely in the Premier League. They're fully going gung-ho now on the Europa League, I think it's fair to say. They're fairly inconsistent and they're actually quite a hard team to predict in this series, but overall I think regardless of the form book though, I think this game was always going to be tight on paper because of the fact it is a North London derby, and for that reason I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go for Arsenal 1, Tottenham 1. I just think that both teams will probably take a point at this moment in time and probably are going to be too afraid to actually lose this one. Now onto the penultimate game of this game week taking place on Sunday evening at Old Trafford, Manchester United versus West Ham United. Now this sounds absolutely mental to say, but this is actually a game for top 4 contention because somehow we're in mid-March and West Ham are still there and thereabouts for Champions League qualification. I don't think they get enough credit. I don't think David Moyes gets enough credit for how he set up this team and how they're performing this season. They're in mid-March, as I said, and they're still competing for top 4, which is just absolutely unbelievable. But on the other hand, in terms of Manchester United, they're unbeaten in the last 8 games in the Premier League. To be fair to them, they've actually only lost 1 of their last 22 games in the Premier League, which is a pretty astounding stat that you actually have to research before this game, because it actually is a bit of a mad stat if you think about it. One thing for West Ham in this one, Jesse Lingard of course ineligible because of course he's playing against his former club, or his parent club I should say, and for that reason I think that Manchester United are just going to have the edge on this West Ham team, because I just think how long can West Ham go, keeping up this form, especially against very good teams in the Premier League as well, and for that reason I'm going to go for Manchester United 2, West Ham 1. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if West Ham did in fact get a point, if not 3 in this one, but I just feel like they will run out of steam a little bit. I don't think they can make this, top 4 push towards the end of the season. I'm going to go for a marginal United win. And now onto the final game of this game week on Monday Night Football, Wolves versus Liverpool at Molineux. Now, I don't know what else to say about Liverpool. They've lost the last 6 games at Anfield, they've lost 6 of the last 7 Premier League games in general. They just look absolutely terrible at this moment in time. The only saving grace for them is the fact they picked up a win in Leipzig in that 4-0 win over 2 legs. On the other hand, Wolves have dipped a little bit in form after the resurgence of form they got towards January, February months. They're still going to cause problems for Liverpool, do not get me wrong, the likes of Pedro Neto, Adama Traore, even Willian Jose, who seems to be settling into this Wolves system now. And to be honest, I think that Liverpool, the one thing in this game that will be telling is whether Fabinho, like midweek, will play in midfield and let Phillips and Kabak play centre-back. If that is the case, I think I will back Liverpool in this one, and assuming that does happen, I'm going to go for Wolves 1, Liverpool 2. I just think that Liverpool are so much more balanced, not only in midfield, but in defence and in attack when Fabinho plays in midfield, and yeah, that's why I'm going to go for a marginal Liverpool win. So yeah, those are my Premier League Game Week 28 predictions. If you want to go and, as usual, leave your predictions down in the comment section below, please feel free to do so, because I'm interested to see how you guys think these games will pan out, and of course, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, because 20 likes, as per usual, will be massively appreciated by myself, and also if you could subscribe to the channel. As I said at the start of this video, we are so close now to 1,500 subscribers, and yeah, it would just be absolutely great to hit that. So yeah, if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be massively appreciated, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.